Some people worry that the Biden administration's policies on China are perhaps restrictive to the global economy, tied to the amount of trade that naturally would flow otherwise between the United States and China. The answer to that, I think, can be said fairly simply. We don't really know what the Biden administration's plans for China will be yet. So A, it's a presumption. B, it's pretty widely spread. So C, it's almost certainly priced. Secondarily, it is a little hard to envision the Biden administration economically as any tougher in trade policies with China than the ramp up that the Trump administration had. And of course, a lot of the same types of people, often with a slightly different political persuasion, were of the view then that what President Trump then was doing would cause big economic problems. And of course, the economy did just fine during that time period. The reality is that it is virtually impossible to close off parts of the economy on a global basis, because it's not impossible, but it's very hard. You got to really, if you will, sanction a country in hard ways, almost fence them off, like we've tried largely unsuccessfully to do with North Korea for a long time, because they trade with somebody else who trades with somebody else who trades with somebody else, and finally it comes back into the country that tried to shut them off. And it's just very hard. The only real closed economy in the world is the world economy. And that's a hard lesson for most people to get. So can the administration create a little bit of impediment? Sure. Is that enough to stop an otherwise growing economy? No. Are these processes good? Well, that depends how you define good and what your goal is. If the goal is to impede China so they can't do as well, there might be other better ways to do that, but this might contribute toward that effect. There's all kinds of other issues with China that go on at the same time as we move forward, which includes American policies toward what goes on with Taiwan, and that remains to be seen. So far, the Biden administration's Taiwan policies haven't looked very different than the Trump administration's did. There is a tremendous tendency in these things, not complete, but tremendous tendency to have the party that's not in the White House criticize the party that's in the White House for what the White House is doing. And then as you move forward and the parties change so that the party that was out goes in and the party that was in goes out, the new administration often does a lot of the same things that the prior administration does. And why? Because actually that was the best that anybody could figure out to do at the time. And as they did that, then the other party would criticize them. But in reality, for the global economy, what the administration has done so far, or shown so far, has almost no effect. And what they may do likely has little effect. Likely what they do is a negative, but not a big enough negative to matter much. There's always negatives going on. Always, always, always. Don't over extrapolate the power of negatives. It takes a lot to stop a growing economy.